Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Morgan's Tasty Notes. My name is Morgan Lee. I am a winemaker in Washington State, based in Woodinville, just northeast of Seattle. I am the winemaker for 3 brands currently: 2 Vintners, Covington Cellars, and City Limits. And during this time of crisis and virus in our nation and our world, there have been a lot of people doing things like this, virtual tastings, and I thought, I definitely am not going to do that. But as time has gone on and we keep trying to be more creative and learn how to be homeschool parents and do a lot of cooking and watch a lot of movies on Netflix, I thought we should do that. And my lovely wife Sally was definitely the one that kicked it into gear. So I thought in this Easter season, we would do an episode involving pink things and tasty things in the springtime. So for this first episode, we're going to focus on rosé. Today is the 40th day of quarantine here in Seattle in the Northwest. I believe it is March 92nd today. And we've been filling our time with a lot of drinking of wine. So, without further ado, we made 2 rosés this year at 2 vintners, and we're going to go over both of those today. First, I want to give a little bit of background on rosé, which is widely misunderstood. I guess less and less so. People are starting to embrace the pink wine. We all grew up with the sugary Kool-Aid-like rosé, the box in the fridge, if you will. My grandmother has one in her fridge at all times, and I'm not gonna lie, every once in a while it's just kind of delicious. You can just chug it. But that is not what we have made here. There are 2 ways to make rosé. One is referred to as saignée, in which you siphon off juice from a red wine fermentation and you ferment that separately as pink wine. Saignée can make lovely rosé from time to time. I have chosen to make ours in a way that is more referred to as maceration or direct to press. And what that means is we put the red grapes through the crushing and stemming process. So you open up the skins and you put them in a fermentation bin, and it's really up to the winemaker how long those grapes sit on the skin. Sometimes not at all. Sometimes they are pressed right away, in which case you get a very pale wine, very almost salmon in color. And the longer that you leave it on the skins, the darker the wine gets. Just like making red wine, the skins will stay in contact with the juice for days and even weeks and sometimes months. With rosé, though, it's usually a matter of hours. So, with both of the examples that I'm going to share with you today, that maceration or skin contact time was only 8 hours. So we crushed the fruit in the morning, and we monitored it throughout the day, and we basically pressed it right before we went home. And then we ferment that juice without the skins, and we make these lovely pink bottles here. So the first one I want to go over with you is called Have a Nice Day. My beautiful mother, Lynn Lee, designed this label for me, and both of these wines are dry or absence of residual sugar, so they are not like the box in Grandma's fridge. They are more high in acidity and also low in alcohol. We're picking these grapes early to retain acidity and have something that is truly refreshing. So both of these come in at just about 12% alcohol. And they are both crisp and refreshing, but they are very, very different. So the Have a Nice Day comes from Olson family vineyards in the Yakima Valley, kind of near the town of Prosser. The Olson family has been farming in the Yakima Valley for over 100 years. And They're lovely, lovely people to work with. This version of Have a Nice Day is 56% Senso. That is spelled Cinsault. Senso is a southern run grape typically used in the blending process to make wines more aromatic. You don't often see it on its own. But we at Two Vintners really have embraced and loved Senso. So 56% Senso and 44% Grenache. Both varietals were picked on the same day and again crushed in the morning and pressed out 8 days later. 8 hours, sorry. So, I've never been one to be very good at writing tasting notes. It's just not ever been my strong suit. So that's why we call this tasty notes. So we're just going to have some kind of non-traditional tasting notes, maybe a couple adjectives in the fruit category, but rosé is really kind of like champagne. You can just drink it all year long with anything. It's a very, very friendly food wine. It's as good at Thanksgiving as it is in the summertime. Oh, the Easter Bunny spilled. So this has a little bit of strawberry characteristics, which is definitely probably something we're getting from the Grenache portion. Also has some like honeydew melon. And when I asked my wife, Sally, about this wine, she said it tastes like a sunny, smooth drive down I-5 in the summertime. So we're not advocating drinking and driving, mind you, but something that invokes happiness and warm and sunny days. I ain't gonna spit. That's delicious. This is our second vintage, if you will, of the Have a Nice Day Rosé. It was also a blend of Senso and Grenache last year, and I see no reason to change that formula. Again, great acid, very food friendly. This would go equally well with cheese and fruit as it would with seafood. In a little bit, we're going to do our own little pairing in the holiday season. But for right now, I think we'll set this one aside and we'll talk about the other rosé we have on the table. Our second rosé is our first vintage of this wine. This wine was made in honor of my brother, Tanner Lee. And we simply are calling this White Zin. Now, speaking of that box in the refrigerator, typically that box is made of the Zinfandel grape and reminisces more like a juice box at school than an actual wine. But Zinfandel can actually make really, really lovely rosé. It retains its acidity pretty well, and as you can see, even in just 8 hours, can give a wine a really beautiful color. So I chose this for Tanner, my brother, because Tanner was a beautiful person. He was a great father and a really hard worker and really cared for his family. This is him right here with my wife, Sally. That's probably about 10 years ago when he came to the winery for the first time. Tanner lived in Chicago. And besides being an awesome father and supporter and lover of his family, he was also a hipster, skater, vegan punk. I loved him very, very much. And he lost his battle with testicular cancer 2 years ago this week. So I thought the first episode we should definitely focus on the wine that was made in his honor that we are putting out to the world right now in an effort to support his memory and awareness for testicular cancer and other cancers. So I chose Zinfandel because, well, Two Vintners is one of the only producers, not the only, one of the only producers of Zinfandel in the state of Washington. and I thought, you know, I I think I could make white Zinfandel cool. Uh, I think we could make a really lovely wine out of Zinfandel, and I know I'm biased, but I think we've definitely accomplished that feat. Zinfandel has a lot more overriding fruit characteristics than the Have a Nice Day. I get a lot of watermelon, almost like Jolly Rancher. The nose actually tricks you into thinking that it's going to be sweet, and you can't actually smell sugar, but there are things that trigger your brain to think that something is going to be sweet, like the smell of honey or the smell of watermelon or candy. And this definitely smells like one of those Jolly Rancher sticks that I used to get from the village pantry in Indiana when I was growing up on my bike. They were like 15 cents. Just delicious, hard stick of sugar, corn syrup. I don't know what the hell is in those things, but I know you can taste it right now. Mm. That wine is just damn delicious. We're gonna make Zinfandel, white Zinfandel, cool again. I promise you that. You can get your hands on this, but not for long. This first vintage, we didn't make a lot. We made about 80 cases of this gem right here, these magnums, which is really just 2 bottles, people. I know that right now you are drinking at least 4 bottles per household every day to try to get through homeschooling. And we made about 50 cases of the regular 750. The Zinfandel for this particular wine came from a vineyard called Porteous, which is in the Zilla area of the Yakima Valley. Paul Porteous is one of the OG farmers of the Yakima Valley. His first plantings are from 1983. I was, 3. And a lovely man who ironically just retired. I bought this fruit from him this year, and he just announced his retirement right as the world was coming to a halt. So good for Paul. Cheers to you. I hope you're enjoying your retirement in this time of quarantine. I need to get you a bottle of this, by the way. So, 2 very, very different versions of rosé. Color, aromatics, substance, but both are dry, have a lot of acid, and will definitely fill your need for rosé in the springtime and beyond. So I did want to go over some food pairings. Now, as mentioned, rosé goes with everything. Definitely here in the Northwest, a lot of seafood. Rosé is fantastic with seafood. It is great with cheese platters. It's great with just about anything. Even like a hearty salad. Rosé is lovely. I know that some of our friends are pouring their first glass of rosé with lunch right now because they're working from home, and that's responsible. So I think because of Easter and our parental duties as purveyors of candy for our kids, I think that we should see how these fare with some Easter candy. Now, I'm of the mind that red wine or any type of wine with chocolate is disgusting. I know that's going to hurt some people's feelings, but wine and chocolate sucks, okay? So, why not try everybody's favorite, the Peeps? Now, right now, we have party cake, birthday cake Peeps, which I thought might go really lovely with this Zinfandel. So you got watermelon, Jolly Rancher, and look at that little gem right there. Let's see. That is disgusting. That is not working at all. Let's try it with the Have a Nice Day. A little more acid. Let's see. Honestly, that's slightly better. So, peeps. Peeps go okay with rosé. I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, we gave it a shot. Oh, the other thing I thought would be fun, guys, this is a family favorite, and my mother is the one that taught us about Swedish fish. Here we have Swedish fish jelly beans, which I did not know existed until yesterday. Let's see how this goes. All right, Zinfandel first. Feeling it, Tanner. I think this is going to be the one. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's some good jelly beans. Yeah, that hits the spot right there. Yeah, we'll try it with this one, but that's the pairing right there. Tanner's White Zen, Swedish fish jelly beans. Yeah. I'm gonna crush this bag. Easter Bunny's not handing those out. Yeah. Swedish fish jelly beans are definitely the winner with rosé. The Peeps, I mean, delicious little things, but not so much on the wine pairing. One very important thing. I was talking to you about the label that my mother designed. This label here is from an actual picture of Tanner skating in Chicago. And a good friend of ours here, teacher and local illustrator, Ellie Peterson. Ellie Pete! She designed this label for us, and it could not be more perfect. It is exactly what I wanted Tanner's label to be. And while I would much rather have my brother here, it was an honor to make that for him in his memory. Well, everyone, I hope you have a lovely Easter. I hope you have a healthy, safe time with your families during all of this. I will be back next week with another episode of Morgan's Tasty Notes. Tell all your friends. And if you want to get these wines, it's very, very easy. The web. It's just, we really need it now, don't we? www.2vintners.com. And it's TWO, Vintners. And we have an order page on there. We are actually offering free shipping right now during all of this for 6 bottles or more. And until next time.